Tēnā koutou katoa, everyone, and welcome back to Mucky Hope Productions. I'm your host, Mucky Hope, and it's a bit of a crazy one. I literally just came back from an event. Survivor Twist will be joining any second now. And sorry, I'm just fucking him a quick message. There we go. Survivor Twist should be joining us very, very soon, but we're back. We're here to talk about Australian Survivor, ranking number 5, Champions vs Contenders 2, and I'm so grateful. I'm so humbled, because last week I got to do a amazing podcast with the Speaking Llama boys, but deep down, something was heartbroken inside of me. I was missing my best friend. I was missing my favourite Australian in the world. Everyone, please welcome the amazing Michelle. How are you?
Hello. So tired, just so many things on. Like, I cancelled. I couldn't go to a dinner tonight. It was just too much. Just stuff on every day. I'm not coping.
Literally. See, This is why, now don't get me wrong, I love Christmas, right? Which, speaking of Christmas, it's always a Christmas treat when we have Mr. Survivor Twist with us. How's it going, GP?
I'm good. How are you guys? Sorry, I'm doing good. So late.
So sorry for the very late twist. We're live now. Come join. But I literally just got home, turned on laptop, and tapped the live button. So we're here. Champions vs Contenders 2. Wait. Sorry, I was talking about something else. So, Michelle, I agree. Everything's been super busy. Christmas is the time of joy, of happiness, of love, of family, of whānau coming together. And all it is just stressed people. Everyone's losing money. Everything is even more expensive. Everyone wants to plan something all at the same time. It's crazy. Yeah. But how have you been, GP, Mr. Survivor Twist? How's it all going, bro?
I'm good. I'm good. Kind of stressed with what I'm doing with my channel. 2 challenges at the same time. Editing every day, every night, and trying to make it, but it's very fun, very challenging.
Yeah, because you've been doing like a new Survivor Twist every single day until like Christmas, right?
I'm opening Todd's advent calendar every day until Christmas and probably a little bit after Christmas with how much editing. And also building 49 twists for Survivor 49. That's ongoing until 50 starts in my heart.
Yeah. February, I think it's February 25th, I think.
Yeah, like end of February, yeah.
I have 29 twists to make. We'll do it.
Yeah, easy, bro. You got it. Easy peas. But let's welcome everyone in the live. We have Mr. Gabe himself. Welcome to the live, Gabe. This season has pretty much cemented how they edit moving forward. If you aren't important to the overall story or exciting TV, you become purple. Almost all the Contender Tribe women didn't exist this season. Yeah, well, we'll talk all about that. Yeah. Plus Simon Black. Hi, Mucky, Michelle. Eminem is back together. I miss you, Michelle.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was so busy last week. I just couldn't. We had all these different times I could have tried to do it, and then I just couldn't do any of them, and it was just
honestly, it's those bloody Americans. That's whose fault it is, having such a terrible time zone. Why does everyone got different time zones to us, Michelle? It's...
I know. It'd be easier if everyone was the same, but then, Yeah,
exactly. Like, with one planet, one sun, one moon, how hard can it be, Yeah.
One language would help, probably.
One language. Yeah, we're going to stomp down the British flag, only the English language. No. Yeah. Anyways, we're here. We're not here to talk about the English or life, Christmas. I don't know. We're here to talk about Australian Survivor. Sorry, you can see how muddled up I am. I'm just reaching to grab my notes.
That is my brain. My brain right now is not functioning on all cylinders.
Yeah, and I do agree, Gabe. Your beard, Mr. GP, is bloody excellent, by the way.
Gonna look good for Christmas.
Yeah,
exactly. Anyways, so
thank you.
Champions vs Contenders 2. The first season to ever have a returning player on Australian Survivor with the King of the Jungle himself, Luke Toki. It is the first season to do a straight continuation. So, Champions vs Contenders 1, Championship Contenders 2. I mean, Michelle, has there ever been a time in Survivor history where they've repeated a theme straight after the first one?
No, and the fans did not like it. They were like, "What do you mean another one? I don't understand. Do something different." They hated it. And to have
Yeah.
only one returning player, and that was really strange, just to have one. And everyone was
Yeah.
like, "What is this? Why is only Luke there? And why isn't he just waiting for an All-Stars or something like that?" Yeah, that threw people as well.
Yeah. I do think he would have been on All Stars, but I think it was just like the timing of, like, obviously his daughter was just born as well, and she had, cystic fibrosis and stuff. So I think it was just like the timing in terms of when he wanted to be with his family versus when he wanted to come out. So that's why I think he's here as the people's champion and not on All Stars. But Michelle, Luke being the first ever Australian Survivor returning player, were you pumped? Were you excited to see Luke come back?
I was excited because I thought, well, he's got a chance to, right his wrongs and get things right this time. Obviously, he didn't, but he's an entertaining player. So it's not as though they brought back someone who's a bit boring and not good TV. So it was good to have him back.
Yeah. Well, GP, I actually do kind of disagree with you a bit, Michelle, because I feel like Luke did right a lot of wrongs. And that's because even though I love his first game, he was so messy his first game. He tried a lot of moves and quite often they didn't work out.
He didn't do some good. I'm just saying he didn't win. I'm not saying he didn't do some good for him for his game.
Yeah. But I feel like somehow between season 2 and season 4, he sort of like evolved, right, into like a new version of Luke, who's like really, like, he was already great socially, but he really weaponized it this time round, and just completely changed his game entirely and into a more well-rounded, great player of Survivor.
What do you guys think? Is he the most popular Australian reality TV contestant?
Well, I'm willing to say yes, just based on the fact that after this season, when he got voted out, fans donated $500,000, Michelle?
Was it half a million, or did it go up to $1 million?
It might have even been $1 million, right? It's like, and it wasn't like he started a GoFundMe or anything. A fan had started it. Other players were donating to it as well. And even Shani, who's a huge fan favorite in Australia, hasn't had the fan base do that for her. It's all because of Luke's story, who he is. He's your Aussie everyday father, who just loves and adores his kids, and you can really see that with like how he plays in the games and just talks about his family as a whole. And so, I'm going to say he's probably Australia's number one favorite player.
There was a goal for 500,000. They reached that, and then they went to 550. Then they shut it off, and he gave the extra 50 to charity.
Oh, nice! Yeah.
This guy has been unlucky, and he's been unlucky in life. His 3 children have something, and he still has that smile going on all the time. He's Australia's energy personified on my TV. Like, Luke Toki is actually my favorite Survivor player of all time, of any season, just because you just sort of want to be like him, sort of want to hang out with him, sort of identify with everything, and you want to be like that crazy guy that does everything possible on Survivor, which he did. And I agree with Mucky that he did improve his placement, right? Didn't he get 6th the first time? Now he got 4th this time, right?
He came 7th, 4th, and then Australia vs. the World, he came 2nd. So he does always get slightly better, but
and he only joined. He only joined the group this year. His wife had always been in the group, and I'm assuming she would have given him info of what was going on. But when the GoFundMe came out, there were literally 4 or 5 GoFundMes, and I wrote to her and I said, look, we've got a problem here. We've got to shut down these other GoFundMes. Can you help shut these down? Because people are trying to advertise them, and I'm not advertising them. I know which is the real one. And then she sort of worked with me to try and shut some down, because it was just crazy. People were just paying random people money on these weird GoFundMes. So it was a strange time. And now he's in the group, and he had a chat to me this year, which was really nice. He's such a nice
Oh,
guy, and
lucky.
yeah,
Yeah.
lucky, yeah.
Yeah. I always get so nervous every time I message players, and like I had small chats with them throughout Australia vs. the World. It was most of me being like, "Oh my God, Luke, I love you. You're amazing." Yeah, and then he would send a small respond back, and that would just make my day.
Yeah.
Michelle, I'm pretty sure I've already told you this, but GP, I don't think I've told you this story. But when we did the Luke Toki coverage, right, on Australia vs. the World, like sort of predicting how far we think he's going to go. So Brendan, Australian Survivor Memes, had because he always shares our stuff on his page. Luke thought that Brendan was doing the podcast. So Luke was wanting to send him merch and said, "Oh, no, like it's not me. It's this guy, like Michael Mucky, lives in New Zealand. He's literally your number one fan." And so he organized with Luke and with Stag Sierra Hamish as well, where Luke sent Hamish like the hat and like the shirt, that not the exact shirt he wore on the island, but like that long sleeve shirt and stuff is in my wardrobe right now. I'll have to grab it at some point. And yeah, Hamish came and crashed the night, left it for me like on my bed when I was out and about doing stuff, and yeah, just it was awesome. That's
From
how much
this season,
I love
I didn't know
from the
you got a
the world,
shirt
yeah,
from this season.
and a hat, yeah.
Go and get it.
Yeah, shall I quickly find it? All right, Michelle, I'll
Why
let
haven't
you.
you told me about this?
I'm pretty sure I have told you about it. All right, sorry, I'm gonna have to quickly find it, but Michelle, I'll just talk about how great and amazing the season is. I'll be I'll be right back.
Oh, he's just put that on as though we can't see his background. Oh my God. Yeah, okay. So what have I got for notes here? Yeah,
Well, Michelle.
amazing cast.
Oh yeah, one of the strongest in history. Yeah. How would you feel about yourself? Are you a champion or a contender, Michelle? What do you think?
Contender. I'm just a teacher. I'm not anything amazing in the real world. So yeah, I wouldn't be the champion. I'd be on the contenders, definitely. What about you?
Same here. No level of fame or athleticism that warrants anything like that. Or I'm not a chess champion either. You can use your brains to be a champion too. So that is what's interesting about these season teams. They play with the titles.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could have someone who's a member of Mensa. You could have someone who is a great chess champion. You could do it in that way as well. You don't have to just be physical.
Or an award-winning actress. How does that win of Pia Miranda make you feel, really? How did that make you feel?
I was so happy because she was a super fan. She knew what to do. And I love it when super fans don't muck up their game and actually get to the end and win. Because it means for us other super fans, oh, this is great. Someone's finally made it, they got there. And it's not some random person who learned as they went along. Just maybe, just a normal everyday fan. I just love it when a super fan wins. And it was just so unexpected, I think, for the general population for Pia to win. They didn't think she would win.
The smallest woman on the cast, the smartest woman on the cast, maybe also.
Yeah.
Her intro scene where you see her on stage and her range of emotions she can show on her face, and how she already explains us her strategy in the premiere. To me, it's a bit like Lisa that won New Zealand. This kind of out of nowhere woman that is wow. Watch out for her. And I always like that Pia told us really her deep strategy. I did catch some clips on the show where she says, you can't just be fake out here, it will catch up with you. You have to be real. But then again, she uses fakery all the time.
Yes.
With everyone, super fake, yet super real. Do you believe it, Michelle? How real was she really? Is she just
I think she was pretty real. I think she was pretty real. She was pretty real in confessionals and real a lot of the time. I think when she had to talk about alliances and things like that, she could have been a bit, playing it up. But I mean, I would do the same, and I'm not an actress, but I just think she did so well. And when right at the beginning, she did say something that I actually said when I played Sydney Survivor. I actually remembered that I think Pia said this, that I'll either be first out or I'll go all the way to the end. And I think maybe she said, or I'll be the winner, something like that. And yeah, and I thought that in Sydney Survivor, if people know me, I'll probably be first out. But I ended up, no one knew who I was except for 2 people. And I did get all the way to the end. So I did a bit of a Pia there, but I didn't win. So that was a bit annoying.
Right. Well,
yeah.
She has a unique story too, right? How she almost left first against Anastasia. That is a unique winner's path, right? When they always almost leaves first.
Yes.
Makes you think of USA, Chris Doughty in Vanuatu. So in danger at first. I can think of another winner who was so in danger at first.
There was someone who was in danger right at the beginning, and then they end up winning, and it's just an amazing arc of a story. I love it. But then, it's surprising she didn't go, because like the first 4 players out of 5 voted out were women.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And even like Laura from the Contenders tribe, similar to Pierre, like short, female, just
very short. Very short.
Yeah, very, very short. But just really quickly, just going back to Luke Toki. So his hat. So this is what he sent me. His hat's right here. Creeping baby. Jeez.
Wow.
So creeping hat. And this is the shirt. You're called the one he wore on Australia vs. the World. This is like a copy.
Oh my gosh.
So this is what Hamish, Stagzio, and Brendan had organized, which was just
wow,
dream come true. This shirt was the very first merch I actually ever got. I got it with a face mask. I tipped my room upside down trying to find the face mask. I've got no idea where it is. I know it's in my apartment because I've definitely put in a drawer somewhere. I just don't know which drawer. But the creeping things kind of come off in the washing machine. But you can still see it says creeping. And then thanks to you, Michelle, I remember you calling me, actually being like, Mucky, he's releasing merch. He's releasing merch again.
Yes.
Hurry up and buy one. You're like holding off Facebook posts just for me to grab it. So this is the other one right here. So when I say I'm a fan of Luke, I really am a huge fan of Luke.
Yeah, I held off on that post in the group because he said he was only releasing a certain amount. Like he had a number, and I thought, geez, I'm not putting this out in the group until you have actually bought one. Yeah. So you needed to get online.
See, this is why Michelle's my favorite, guys. Honestly, I adore you, Michelle. I really do. I don't know what I'd do without you. But yeah, that would be my dream meetup. If I could meet up with one person and then happily die tomorrow, it would be with Luke Toki. I just think he's just great. Amazing player, amazing guy. But anyways, Champions vs. Contenders too. So were you guys just chatting about
Pia? We just chatted about Pia as a person, as a player, as a winner. Gabe said a few things about her on the side as well.
Yeah, so Pia line, the first out or win kind of hinted at it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid, Michelle, but like with Pia, with Haley, everyone's like, oh, so obvious they're going to win. And I was like, how? Like at the final 6, you have Janine the Godmother, Luke Toki, Dirty Harry, like Abby, and I'm not saying, I felt Pia and Abby were kind of similar win chances at the final 6, and then you've got Baden. 6 great like characters and players at the final 6, let alone final 5, let alone final 3. Like I still find it shocking that Baden took Pia with him to the end over Harry. Yeah. But I guess let's bring it all the way to the back because Michelle, I know you like a lot of structure. I don't have a lot of structure tonight, but
I know. I went all the way to the end. You went away and I went to the end.
But yeah, so Champions vs. Contenders, pretty much majority of the drama throughout the entire pre-merge only happens on the Champions tribe. Even during the swapped phase as well, majority of the drama happens on the Champions tribe. And, we get this athlete alliance, Michelle, with like Steve Bradbury, which did you know many of the champions going into this season?
Talking to me or GP?
I'm talking to you.
Me, yes, I knew
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of them. Yeah, I mean, I knew Bradbury. He was from the Olympics. They even say in Australia still, like, I'm pulling a Bradbury, stuff like that, and I knew quite a few of them, sports stars and things, yeah.
Yeah. I actually knew two champions, Luke, obviously, and E.T. I used to watch his like fishing show when I was growing
Oh,
up.
God,
Crazy,
yes.
right? Yeah, fishing with
Yeah.
E.T. And it's an old versus young tribe at the start. And you're American, Gabe? No way. I actually
There
thought
you
Gabe was
go.
Australian. What are you doing up this late, listening to...
And he's on lots of times at this time.
I know. Gabe, honestly, see, I love you just as much as Michelle now, bro. Honestly. Like, you are my favorite American, Gabe. I don't know many Americans, but you're definitely number one, Gabe. You are an absolute legend, bro. Thank you so much for staying up so late to always participate in the live chats. But yeah, it's pretty much old versus young. And then we see the coming of David GP. And it's funny because I remember seeing a tweet, right? Early 2019, there was a tweet that said, this model guy is kind of quiet. Look who he is now. The golden god of Australian Survivor. What was your first thoughts on David in the season?
Just hilarious, gorgeous, and everything. He is a golden god, The impression he makes on screen, he knows what he's doing as well, and he knows what he's doing. So it's kind of a game with us, right?
Yeah.
I think he wouldn't be anything without Luke, and vice versa. In that season, it was really one of the best strategic moments for me was when David and Luke managed to take over the athletes on their tribe, which completely flips around and places them in a position of power. Like, to me, that's one of in the history of Survivor I've watched, a duo that takes over an entire tribe like that. That's rare. They were supposed to be next. I think the athletic ability as well of those two boys kept them around a little bit more. And I think the obviousness of the athlete alliance, right? In history, also one of the most obvious alliances. Were they even telling people like we are together? What do you remember?
Yeah.
Too obvious to me.
Yeah, it was definitely quite an obvious sort of grouping, but just really quick. Hello, Alan. Welcome to the live. You've just missed out on a very crazy start. So you've come in at the perfect, the calm after the storm moment. Welcome to the live, Alan. You are a legend. And David, to me, felt like Luke knew Jericho at the start, but later on, he even outshined Luke in the edit. Yeah, well, Michelle, this season had so many great alliances. You had Luke and David, which I'm willing to argue is the best working duo probably in Survivor history with what they're able to pull off. And
Ferris and
Kirby.
No.
And Raymond.
Eileen.
Ferris
well,
and Raymond.
I mean, I guess just quickly compare, right, with Luke and David. They're on the bottom at the start, right? They find an idol together. They flip the Champions tribe on its head. Swap to a 7-2 minority, and without playing a single idol, get full control of the tribe.
I wasn't talking about how good they were. I was just saying they're as a duo, they worked well together. I'm saying
really well together, yeah.
I'm just saying they're just fun.
Yeah, and I feel like also like the alliance with like Janine and Pierre as well. Great alliance, loved it. And then with Abby and Ross as well, it was like 6 like great individuals all coming together. It might actually be one of my favorite alliances of all time.
And you know what? Those alliances have continued because we saw David go on a holiday to the Maldives, Club Med, and who was there? There was Janine, Pia, Abby,
there was Lydia and Sean.
Yeah, Lydia and Sean. So this is where it all sort of started with him and his harem of ladies who all still get along and, go on holidays together. Yeah. They've gone on quite a few holidays together, that group.
Not only that, but Australia versus the World was influenced by this season because Janine and Luke made the end together and lost together. Like the ending of Luke's story after all that, to lose in the final three, actually shocked me. You know, we all wanted him to finally make the finals, and he loses in the finals. I think it was with the wrong person, Parvati. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if there's one player to lose to, it's Parvati.
Almost.
Yeah. If you were to lose someone, Parvati is probably the one to lose to. And I loved how Luke worked on Ross socially while Janine befriended Abby to leave the Athlete Alliance. Yeah, like something I remember. And this is sort of inspired what I would love to do if I was ever on Survivor. So Michelle. So Luke is, is chatting with Ross. Ross is sick of Nova. She's taking over the kitchen and stuff. And he's telling Ross, how about you go steal a banana for me? Prove your loyalty by stealing a banana. Nova's kitchen. Yeah.
Yes.
And then I remember like the deep dives like that Luke had. Luke and Ross would wake up early just to start cooking the rice. We're like, yeah, Nova, we're taking over the kitchen this time. And that's how he socially worked on Ross to flip Ross to his side, and it's just great masterful work. And we do get, I mean, like David has so many great moments, but I feel like there are a couple moments this season which just really peaked David, where there's a twist, GP, and I know you love your twists, where there's an idol for the other tribe on the other tribe.
Right, so, when he trades with Sean Hampson, right?
Yeah, so Sean finds the Champions one, Janine finds a Contenders one, and, she kind of tells David about it. So David then makes a fake idol and swaps it for the real idol.
That is great. I mean, it's not the first time they did some sort of idol switch. I don't know. We think of Survivor China. They had to give a clue to someone else by visiting the other tribe. But this is literally give your idol to the other person and receive an idol, hopefully. I think the producers expected a perfect trade. Like, come on, of course they will trade. And he trades a fake idol to Sean to really screw Sean in the ass. That was the first Golden God move of, wow, he's kind of an asshole, but oh my God, good job.
Yeah.
And it cemented how Sean made on All-Stars because it built him a big story also. How can he come back from that? When is he going to realize, Sean? On this season, you're waiting. Come on, Sean.
Yeah.
Open the package. Open your idol.
Yeah, well, Michelle, he does take a long time to open the package, right? Isn't it like, do you know if maybe it was just like editing magic that he opened it late, or do you know if he actually opens up the idol like pretty late?
I don't know. I don't know the backstory of that bit.
Yeah.
I know more now in these more recent seasons than back then. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the first time someone had bluffed, a fake idol for a real idol for a trade. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this was a twist where producers were like, yeah, no, it'll be interesting, create some cross-tribal alliances and stuff, but I don't think producers would ever think that a small twist like this could be as good of TV as what it becomes. Because later on, when Sean finds out it's a swap and he swaps over to the Champions tribe and it's David and Luke against Sean, it's just great TV, great drama, all the way around.
Yeah.
And I always love when they show us a little moment between players and they kind of fade the host out like, and you just hear two other people do something, and the trade, they do like the editing of that's always fun. Yeah, they need to do more of that. What if you had to trade a coin to somebody? Like everyone receives a coin, you have to trade one to someone else. And like, I love exchanges between tribes. Yeah.
Yeah. And, we also do get the tribe swap here, which is where the game really ramps up. And, I've kind of talked about it a wee bit earlier in the podcast, but David and Luke being swapped to a 7-2 minority. 7-2. And Michelle, they don't play one idol. Somehow, within an episode, they form a majority, but not just like taking a back seat. They are like almost leading the majority themselves, right?
Yeah, like, I think it's because the other players weren't very concrete with each other, so they found the way in. And if the other tribe, when you do a tribe swap, if the other tribe is in the majority and you can't get in there, you're just gone. But they were masterful at that.
Yeah, really masterful. But I do wonder, because as something that Gabe brings up, notice how we haven't even talked about the Contenders tribe. They only went to one tribal, and it was a pretty standard, easy vote. Do you think that maybe that played a huge factor because they only did one vote? It was a pretty easy one.
Yes.
And like alliance and starting to into the growing. Yeah.
I don't even know who Laura is or what she looks like. I have no idea.
They put on the tribe of Sean for the height difference. Remember, she was an apple compared to a tree.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Doesn't she have like a 6-foot boyfriend or something like that?
How do you remember that?
I don't know. Like I rewatch random episodes across season, but yeah, here we go.
The shortest ever in history. I don't know who's shorter than Laura.
Hang on, even the image is so short. That's how short.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the yellow and the funny hat.
This one here. Yeah.
Mucky, I have a huge question for you guys. Okay, now this season has Sam, who I know you've talked about how she has 0 confessionals during the season, right?
Yeah.
I want to know why and what she feels, or anything you can tell me, because I'm still confused.
I don't know why, and I was going to address that because she was on the Amazing Race Australia. She was on with a teammate. They were the models, and they were quite a good dynamic team. And so obviously she was cast because of that, because of her character. And then she got nothing. And I was so angry being an Amazing Race fan that she got nothing because I'd hyped her up in the Amazing Race group. We're going to get to see Sam again. And then we didn't get to see Sam again. It was
and she wasn't
really
a champion.
pathetic.
Not considered a celebrity or a champion with Amazing Race. Not good enough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got... I felt like Contenders this season were like really random, right? So you have like Samantha, you know, the Amazing Race contender, Sean Hampson, who's Megan Gale's husband. Isn't Megan Gale one of the most like top Australian models or something like that, Michelle?
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, he's a real champion. I think we can all agree just on that. He's he's a real champion. And then obviously you got Matt as well, who's like was he a professional wrestler by the time this was filming, or was he a wrestler after this film?
I mean, he's been written down as a high school teacher when he first played, but he probably does the other stuff on the side. Yeah.
Because from what I understand, he's like pretty big in the wrestling world, and so I was sort of wondering, like, did he become massive after Survivor, or was he massive before Survivor?
I think it was after.
Okay. Because the contenders in the first Champions vs Contenders felt like actual like contenders, but like this time around it's sort of like, oh no, like Sean, Matt, Samantha, they do feel a bit more like champions than actual like contenders, you know. But then again, Simon is a massive villain because the villains tribe had no other muscle to have on their tribe, so that's why they chucked Simon in. But yeah, Michelle, like I feel like with Samantha, right, when she got voted out here, as Gabe said, this season started the trend of if you're not one of the few main characters, you won't get any screen time. I felt this was the first season to be like, we won't even give you a confessional.
Nothing. It was so bad. I still hate how she was treated.
Yeah. And it's not just Samantha as well, like Casey, we hardly see, like Hannah as well. Like I just had my laptop, but yeah, I only remember Hannah just because she got voted out of the crazy like double idol play tribal council with Sean. And it has nothing to do with Hannah. Yeah.
Nothing against these women, but one of the most boring mid-seasons in Australian Survivor history. You're like, come on, merge them already, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I will admit, though, like, the final 14, so including, like, Matt and Ross who go out just before the merge, are all, like, really great characters. You know what I mean? Like, we've seen a lot of screen time with them. We know who they are, but it does, like, this is one of, I guess, the weaknesses of Australian Survivor. While I love the editing, the over-the-top, like, drama and stuff, we don't get to see the full picture, the full story. You get what I mean? And it's almost like with Fraser, right? Like the Fraser Tribal Council is so great. However, is because you forget that Fraser is there. Like if Geordie gets voted out in that moment, oh my gosh, that'd be huge. It'd be almost like Malcolm getting taken out in Game Changers, right? But because of what happened, they want you to forget Fraser as an option to be voted out. That kind of makes sense. I think that's why they really peppered him the way he did. But yeah, it's definitely a weakness of Australian Survivor.
Mucky, you made me see Australian editing of Survivor completely different because, that Fraser blindside, you don't see it coming, so it is more powerful. But I don't like what it does to these people. You're watching with your family.
Yeah.
Everyone should be shown. It happened on the US Survivor too. So someone contacted editing, like, what the hell? Show me.
Yeah.
If I was watching with my people and I'm never get see my name on screen, it might change my heart on the show a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, exactly what Gabe says there in the final comment.
Yeah. John's back on what's been done. That's some contender woman. Yeah.
So
and we also do see here the rise of Dirty Harry. You know, Michelle, he's trying to bond with all the different mothers on the tribe, and he tells all of them he has a 3-year-old son, 2-month-year-old son, and his name is Oscar. What a beautiful family man Harry is.
So good in the group. Everyone was talking about Oscar. It was fun.
Is it unforgivable, guys, that strategy? Is it okay to fake it that hard about your real life? Or is it no? What do you think?
No, I'm okay with that.
Fine.
Because a lot of people fake their profession or what they do. And, you know, it's another little white lie, really. It's not your dead grandmother. Your dead grandmother is a bit too far. But I'm okay
I think it's worse.
With a 3-year-old
fake
son.
child. Yeah, fake child. On Traders Quebec, real quick, some guy said I have a sick child, and she was very healthy.
Oh no, that's not good.
Some people.
No, that's not good at all. And another thing that kind of icks me is I swear on their lives. You get what I mean? On other people's lives. I mean, I would only do that with Michelle because, you know, if she goes or stays, I don't really mind. But, you know, for everyone, no, I'm kidding, Michelle. I know you, but yeah, it's I feel like those kind of lies are like your dead grandmother, sick child. I'm swearing on this person's life. Like, those are kind of icky. You get what I mean? Because then it's like if you break that, no, not a fan. But creating up your own child, I think that's all good.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Before we've got past merge now, and I just wanted to mention. How bad Ross, that thing that broke and he fell, and oh my gosh, just seeing it happen. And they have the dream team, or the US has the dream team. We've got the same similar kind of thing that go through the challenges and make sure everything's okay. I have no idea how that rope could have broken.
Who was the heaviest on the cast?
Yeah, it was heavy.
Probably Russ.
Yeah.
But still, you tie something on, like.
A huge, and he got money out of a lawsuit with that.
He settled out of court, but very strange because you're not allowed to. You sign all this stuff to say they're not liable and this and that, and then he sued anyway. I know at the time it was so hard for him because he thought he has to do it because he hasn't been doing his surfing, he hasn't been living his normal life, and his life was affected by his ankle because that's his livelihood. No, it's not a wrist where it doesn't affect it as much. So when I spoke to him, he was like, I'm in a bad way. This isn't getting better. And that's why he did what he did.
And to me, it was a double fail. Not only the rope broke, but there was no protection if the rope would break. So, falls on. What did he break again? I don't remember.
His ankle.
I watched with someone who's a Survivor casual. Okay, I made him watch all the seasons. My boyfriend, and That injury of Ross is the number one reaction he had in the whole history. What happened? What? Like,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
production plays games with us, we don't take it well. I felt really bad for us. But.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a comment I do want to bring up with Gabe because I feel like it's a hard one because Ross' injury is the payoff of going super physical in challenges because I enjoy the physical challenges. I love like the wrestling matchups and stuff. GP, if we're ever on the season together, I'm coming for you, bro. Those wrestling challenges, I'm taking you on, brother. But yeah, it's fun to watch. But in actuality, it's like players get hurt. We obviously had in this most recent season with PD and Zen, they have to get medically evacuated off of a physical challenge because it was too physical and they're like hurting themselves. So it's like at one point, do we, I guess, stop making challenges super insanely physical? Exciting TV, but you are putting the players.
They got to
at a
pad
huge
stuff. Zen fell on a piece of wood, didn't he? Where could people fall?
Yeah, I think it was like a water challenge over like a net, and he got like tackled and landed on his wrist. Yeah.
Like a trampoline.
But then after this, they had George go over a giant. Oh my! I can't even.
Oh yeah, that
it hurts me in my mind. He goes over this thing straight head first into mud, which isn't soft. It's not water.
No.
And yeah, he was affected, and
and Jackie had to get.
Jackie was affected, and so bad.
Yeah, I still remember seeing the scar on George's head.
Yeah,
when he came out. That was that was hard to watch.
Injuries, not just a little scratch or sprain.
Yeah, and as Gabe says here as well, Ross has never come back. I would have loved to have seen Ross come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but unfortunately, that's never going to happen. But we have quickly glossed over.
Wait a minute. Talking about coming back, Andy was the first one you ever heard say, "I've been practicing this in my backyard." And then you saw videos of him when he was on the season actually practicing challenges in his backyard and what he was good at. So when he went out, I was like, oh, they'll hopefully bring him back. He came back, played too hard. What was he, like the first out or something on his second season?
Yeah, he was the first out.
What? Why play so hard? I thought you've got potential.
Well, I mean,
don't you see it, Michelle, in his eyes? It's too eager to me, Andy. I love it. But stop looking at me like that.
I guess we can.
About you.
I guess we can talk about the downfall of Andy and the rise of Harry, right? Because two similar type players, but one of them, I feel like, is able to make plans work, whereas the other one doesn't. I feel like Andy, he tries to do too much. So at the split vote, where Samantha gets taken out, he wants to decide on a coin toss between David and Luke. Right? I don't even know where he found a bloody coin, but okay. Yes, he wants to decide on a coin toss. Was he trying to make like secret deals with everyone and stuff? He's just come across so shady. And, Sean, it gets swapped over to the champions, and they have a whole secret plan where they're going to blindside David, like 3-2 vote. And Andy's like, you know what? Let me just cause a little bit of chaos. So he tells David and Luke what the plan is, hoping they'll join with him to blindside Daisy while playing their idols. But since Andy's just so shady, they obviously don't go through with it, right? And obviously that's where they vote for Sean instead. There's a tie between Sean and Hannah. So, which great play by Sean as well to change the split vote the last second to Hannah. I think that wasn't aired, but it's come out since then that him and Baden changed it from Luke to Hannah the last second in case if there was two idols. So, great job by Sean. He literally saved himself. But yeah, with Andy, he just keeps on trying and trying. He tries to throw the challenge as well just before the merge. And everyone is catching on to him and seeing what he's doing. And yeah, I feel really bad for the guy because he's trying to play hard and stuff, but he's sort of I think as David described it, he places a landmine down, forgets where he's put it, and then he steps on it and it blows up in his face, right? So
yes, and you see that on certain very social seasons like this one. I mean, you look at Luke and David, right? In high school, there would be those alphas, and Andy is more the something up the nerd, and he would look
Yeah.
up to them. So this kind of move was kind of to get deep in his heart some sort of friendship with them too, right? So I think he got messed up with the how am I going to look in the edit? Am I with the good people in the edit? Or I think he overthought about the show while on the show. Not many people do that hard.
Yeah, it's a very interesting commentary as well. Andy tried being what George actually became. Yeah,
That is
the
so
first
honest
overconfident
about that.
superfan player.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure
Yeah.
since
that
the world
is
George is
true.
manipulated by David and Luke the same way, right? George is left to the side like Andy was.
True, yeah.
That's an
And
interesting take. I like that.
yeah, I do like that too, Gabe. See, that's why we love Gabe. He's always got the best takes, the most interesting takes, you know. And
Yeah.
the rise of Harry as well, as Gabe literally says, the man was able to wiggle through that part of the game just barely. He was so lucky to find not one but two idols as well. And yeah, you know, and it all starts off on the episode where Sean gets swapped to the champions. Harry wants to lure the votes onto him, so he comes out. Oscar was a lie, this was a lie, but it turns out to be a non-elim. Which I feel pretty bad for Harry. You know, he comes back and it's like, oh, I couldn't even do my plan because it was a bloody non-elim, right? And so everyone's also really pissed at him. He plays an idol to save himself. He then plays another idol to save himself as well. And it looked like he was going home, but Michelle, like on the episode where Ross gets medically evacuated, it seems like Janine is planning to take out Simon Black. Like, do you know if this was like an actual plan or if it was like...
No, I don't. I don't.
You don't?
I was just looking at the who's left now since God, even since Andy went, and I'm like, Jesus, look at these names, look at these players. It's just
it's huge names,
aren't they?
Yeah, literally. And once again, and like I guess just moving onto the merge with Andy, I feel like this is such an underrated move that I feel like no one really talks about. But David's ability, right? So Daisy has an idol. David tells all the contenders they're putting their votes onto Andy. And because of Andy's reputation, in the 6-6 tie at merge, he convinces the contenders to turn on each other. And flushes Daisy's idol at the same tribal council. Like,
good piece of lore.
Masterclass.
I forgot. Nice.
Yeah. It just shows why he's the golden god and why he's such a phenomenal player. He flushed someone's idol and made the contenders turn on each other in a unanimous vote at the merge. You get what I mean? Like, it's actually kind of wild to think about. And, you know, GP, all season long we've seen David versus Sean. Whose side were you on? Were you on Sean's side or David's side?
Take a side. I just feel bad for Sean. I'm on Sean's side.
Yeah.
You're on Sean's side? How about you, Michelle?
It's
like,
one of the
what
most
side were
cruel
you
over
on?
things ever. Sorry.
I think I was on David's side, even though I generally go for the underdog, but David was just too good a player for me not to go for him.
Yeah. Same thing with me. I just absolutely loved David and Luke as a duo. Something else I completely forgot to talk about, but straight after David and Luke played their idols, you know, and they ended up, you know, like heading back to camp, still on the bottom. They've got no idols, nothing, and they have a award, right, to see like their families on the big screen. And David convinces everyone to let him go first. And
how
does he do this?
That?
And then he goes in
masterful.
first and he finds the idol in the popcorn machine. He's stuffing his face in the popcorn like it's beautiful cinema.
Is shown over and over and over again on YouTube, on any recaps, because people just think that, well, half the fan base thought it was disgusting and half the fan base were like, go for it. What are you going for it? You're just amazing, David. Yeah.
Australia does lots of great rewards. We have to find something. I look forward to that every season. It's very easy in the popcorn, don't you think, guys? Compared to cutting each cake or going, of course.
Yeah.
I would have found that popcorn. Of course, I opened that door. And how David stops listening to his family on the screen, like just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the clip right here. Hang on, let me quickly share. It's only on like a highlights thing, so I don't think it's the full.
There we go.
The full thing. Here we go.
My family went crazy But
We just want to send you all our love from Brooklyn.
the hunger's getting to me.
We're thinking about you all the time, and we're so super proud that you're still in the game.
Oh, they gonna strike that did this.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The golden god is back.
The Golden God is back, baby. Absolute masterclass.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you let David go? Exactly, Gabe. Especially after this. Oh my god. Benji with the nachos. That was actually disgusting.
That was
That was
disgusting.
actually disgusting.
What did he say to go first? What was
He
his
didn't
strategy?
have to do that.
Yeah. He really didn't.
Oh.
And great move. And Andy, nobody wanted to work with him. Easy target. Exactly. And David really utilized that. Like, obviously, when we think of David, we think of like the Daisy blindside, the fake idol swap and stuff. But it's these small moves here. Like letting the contenders give up a potential chance at a majority and flushing an idol. It's, like him getting everyone to let him go first in a 1-by-1, reward challenge and stuff. Like, just socially, he's just. We even saw it, Michelle, on Dondi as well, when everyone's like trying to tell him how dangerous Parvati is, and telling him what Survivor's all about, and he's just going along with it.
It's crazy.
Great, yeah. And
Yeah.
what a phenomenal play. Absolutely love David. But we do see in a very dramatic challenge, probably one of the most dramatic last gasp challenges we've ever had, because the final two was literally David and Sean, holding their breath underwater. And GP, we do get like a twist on the scramble where they don't exactly go back to camp. They go onto the beach. There's all these like fires and stuff, and they just have to do all their strat chats around like the fire pits. What do you think of like this twist for strategizing?
Remind me, is there also an individual immunity to win on at the
Yeah,
door?
so David won immunity with the last gasp challenge, but instead of going to camp, they go to like this other spot with all these like campfires and stuff like that. And so all the strategizing is done around there instead.
I like it because it breaks the normal flow of any episode. It's so dramatic at night, not at camp, and you just imagine yourself there like, don't you hear everything? Like, how far away do I have to go to whisper? I'm stuck here also. So yeah, they didn't nail it as hard as some other seasons did that. I don't know. Like, this one I did not remember, but I like the mood it creates, the pressure. Oh yeah, it's a small twist. Like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. How about you, Michelle? Because I believe they did this maybe in All Stars as well, but they haven't done it again. What did you think of like the fire pit scramble instead of heading back to the beach?
I like it for something different to do, and they haven't done it for a few years. I wouldn't mind them doing it again. I like something that I like a change, but I don't want it every season, like they do with the US a lot of the time. It just gets boring. But I like if they spice things up and everyone goes, oh my God, what's happening now? And it makes everyone chat more about the episode and what could have been and what happened. So yeah, I like it.
I just give myself chills, okay? When I think of a new twist. Jonathan would say, guys, Trouble Console's right here. That's my best accent. And the challenge he just did, it tears down the wall, and it's actually Trouble Console right there in the middle of the ocean. It's now. even faster.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty great, Michelle, because I know that in 2016, something they did was at the final 10 is that they divided everyone, I think, like 5 and 5 or something. It was the episode that Kylie gets voted out in, where 5 people went to exile and the other ones were just straight at camp, but they only ever met again at Tribal Council.
Yeah, that's hard. That's so harsh when you can't work out what's going on and, you arrive at Tribal. And I don't think, did they chat during that Tribal to each other?
I don't remember it, no.
I don't recall because, nowadays it doesn't really matter if you do that sort of thing because they all chat at Tribal anyway. They can get some idea of some consensus. Hopefully,
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
trying
and
to
if they
force a
can't
live
chat
travel.
in tribal, then it's good.
Yeah. Just a couple comments here from Gabe, which is really good. David needed this necklace. Janine, she was thinking on flipping on David for this vote after Andy. And this was needed because the tribal was starting soon. I'm good with this because in joint challenges, they can go like a bit longer.
Yeah,
Exactly. Just let the challenges play out as they play out, you know? And yeah, like Michelle was so interesting is that Pia and Abby were going to be flipping on Luke here, but Janine literally saves Luke, like not once, but obviously Australia versus the world saves Luke at the Final Four again, right? She saves
Yeah.
Luke in the spot, and that's why they take out Sean instead of Luke.
Yeah, and this is where it starts. This is where the Australia versus World Alliance starts. Isn't that amazing when you think, it was so long ago and then it comes back?
Yeah, it
Full
comes back full
circle.
circle.
Yeah.
And we also see the downfall of the Golden God as well. This
Yeah, I was shocked.
What's
I
interesting
mean-
with David is he has 3 radically different placements, right? He's about to be our host so soon. He's seen everything, through heartbreak to middle game to winning. That's interesting. You have a host player who becomes host. Has that
Yeah.
happened also? I'm very interested in David. But it hasn't happened, right?
No.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I think
and
this season right here is the David Golden God season you need to watch if you watch just one of his 3 seasons. Even more Golden God-y than the one he won. Like
Yes.
the characters, like his full character because he hasn't seen himself also, right? Like on Australia versus the World, I thought personally David was really being the character David that we know, not to himself. So I like the first season.
Totally.
well, I mean, from what I know, David was like very last minute on the Australian tribe. So him and Parvati came off Deal or No Deal Island. I think Parvati knew about Australia versus the World, but David didn't, or maybe he turned it down. But then, because it was who was it? It was Benji. So Benji was on the cast for the Australian tribe. But then when David's like, "Nah, I'm in," they dropped Benji and put David on. So that's why when he shows up in the truck, everyone is so happy and excited because nobody knew he was going to be on the cast. Like with preseason chat or anything. And so, yeah, I think David was just hamping it up because it was just so last minute. But yeah, I agree. This is his most entertaining season, this one. And I was actually really sad to see him leave mid-merge like this, Michelle. I wanted him to go even further.
Yeah. Yeah, it was shocking when he went out because we all thought, oh, he's going to be totally fine. And then he goes but then you've got so many other big characters, so it was okay, but it was a shock.
Yeah. And Jenny voted out David, noticed he was starting to become too powerful, rarely champion woman to flip and sacrifice him. Yeah, I think David is like, when he's in a powerful position, right? It's so obvious to everyone. Something with like whenever Rob's playing, it's like, oh my gosh, of course Rob is the power player, right? Whereas I think players like Luke has the ability to like hide like a wee bit more as well. Same thing with like Suri as well, where one of her greatest strengths is that she's never seen as the ringleader of alliances. It's always like the Parvatis, for example, and so yeah, but I think the problem with David and Rob and I guess Parvati as well is that they'll always be seen as the leader of the alliance and the one in full control. So there's always
because
something
of his appearance as well. Everywhere he shows up, people look at David. If your life is like that, you must play like that.
Yeah. And what's so great here as well is that we see Luke, he's the only one left out of the vote. And once again, to show you how much of a great player he is, Michelle, he creates nighttime rice raid with Harry and Baden, where they steal a bunch of rice, make their own fire somewhere else. They all bond over that. Yeah. The champions want him to come back as well. And he is the swing vote in the next vote. How can one of the biggest players and names and threats in the game, who's just been left out of a blind side, somehow become the swing vote?
Yeah. Well, he's out without his major alliance person now. So, yeah, that's good for him. But, I mean, it's not as though didn't help him right at the end because he didn't have that major alliance going all the way through because he lost David.
Yeah, and I think that's actually why he wanted to work with Parvati up until the very end, because, you know, once he lost that Final Four immunity, which, you know, we'll talk about a wee bit later on, but, like, he was cooked. There was no one else he can turn to be like, this is the bigger threat and player. You get what I mean? So that's why I think in Australia vs. World he wanted Parvati and Sari at the end there with him, because he can easily point to them. These are the biggest names and players, right? And obviously it worked for him. You know, that's why Janine took him to Fire and allowed him to win and make it to the very end, right? So
true.
It's the luck of having someone like Janine who doesn't desperately need money. Can I be honest here? You see these players sometimes on reality shows where they make others win and they're just as happy as winning.
I mean, I feel like for Australia vs. World it's more about the name than the money, right? You know, like I think everyone would love a chance to win, but yeah, it's like Luke's a family man. You get what I mean? He needs it more than the. Isn't Janine like the most successful business woman in Australia, Michelle?
Well, she owns a company called Boost Juice, which does you know, healthy juices, and it just, when it first came out, it was just crazy. Now there's more things out to you know, combat her fame and stuff, things like acai, and there's a lot of acai around, and that's sort of healthy as well. So but yeah, she's been very successful in her life. Yeah,
I've tried 3 Boost Juice and they're all pretty good. One of them I actually met up with Eileen at Southern Cross Station. This the station I almost caught the train to Sydney, Michelle, on my very first night. So crazy. I lost Eileen in the station. Like, I arrived there and I couldn't even find Eileen. She literally had to be like, I'm over here. Come to me. Yeah, really confusing, but yeah, loved. I like the juice. It's all right. It's the most mind-blowing thing I've ever had in my life. Probably not, but it's not chalky milk.
It's not chalky milk, is it?
It's not chalky milk. It's quite different to chalky milk. But yeah, we also do see a non-elimination twist here, GP, where with Daisy and Simon Black, you know, so both get voted out here and they have to compete in the challenge. But it's kind of a bit sus because in the challenge, when JLP's counting down for Daisy, he's counting like really slow, right? And then when Simon Black does it, like, I don't know if it's just because the challenge was going on for too long or just editing magic, but it sounds like he was counting a bit too fast for Simon Black.
That's not what I noticed. I noticed what I watched for the editing, okay, a lot. And what they did with Simon's story, when he comes back and Daisy doesn't, I was blindsided of that. What? Why is Simon coming back? I thought we got rid of him in the edit. Because he's sort of a fly on the wall character. I wish we saw more, but then again, to me, okay, like, I hope he doesn't watch it, but to me, it's super boring, right? So I think that's what happened in the editor's room. I don't know. Doesn't give much energy. Nice enough. Yeah. So
well, he hasn't been called back to play again.
Even Mucky one time said, which Simon? Not that Simon. I mean, Simon.
Yeah. There's only one Simon we like, okay?
Exactly.
And it's Simon me. But you think that from edit Daisy wins the challenge. Yeah, well, this is why Australian Survivor is not rigged. Okay. Because then Daisy would have come back. They would have saved Sandra. You know, they would have put in a non-limit the final 4 of Heroes vs. Villains. So then George would have come back, you know, and just win the season. Yeah, it's Australian Survivor is not rigged. But yeah, so Daisy is the only contender woman who existed in the edit. And, you know, I feel really sorry for Daisy because I actually really liked Daisy on this season. Like, you know, not the best gameplay in the world, but obviously her whole role in All Stars was she's a revenge for David. But, like, Daisy didn't even lead the blind side. It was Janine and Pia. But
Daisy is so
Yeah.
no collar that it was gonna be she serves the wave of whatever happened.
Yeah. I liked her as a person. I'm glad she came back, but I don't think she's a great player.
Yeah. She's a very entertaining presence, but not a great player. But speaking of entertaining presence, but not a great player, no, I'm just kidding. But Michelle, we're sad.
I thought it was me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I am a great
We're
player as
sad.
Survivor. I'm also a good trader.
I haven't
Great
seen it
player.
with my own eyes just yet, but we're gonna have to wait and see, one day. But yeah, unfortunately,
You should watch Sydney. Have you watched Sydney Survivor?
49.
No, Sydney Survivor.
Oh, Sydney Survivor. No,
You've not watched it.
I've not watched it. Are they still doing live games and stuff?
Yeah, they've done they've taken so long to edit. They're bringing out season 2 beginning of next year. Season 3's already been filmed, so they've got to put that out too.
Well,
But
what
yeah,
we've got to do is you got to organize. I will fly over to Sydney to be in this game, Michelle, but only if I get to compete on the tribe with you.
Sydney
Just so that
Survivor 4.
Yeah, just so that I can vote you out first and then get myself
I'm
voted out.
not
And
on
obviously try back
4.
home.
That's not All Stars. I'm not
Sorry,
on 4.
What?
You'd have to do well in 4 to get into All Stars, and then we can play together. Then you can try to vote me out. It won't happen.
Can I just jump into All Stars? My last name is Hope. Okay, I feel like that's All Star. I have hope, but unfortunately, Michelle, you do need to go. But just before you do leave, what season are we going to cover next week?
I don't know. You always ask me this. I don't even know what number we're up to. What number?
This is number 5. So I'll break down the 4 seasons left, right?
Please.
In chronological order. Season 2, right? Season 2, Heroes versus Villains, Titans versus Rebels, and Oz versus the World in chronological order.
Oh.
Those are the top 4 seasons.
Oh, is it?
It might be Titans versus Rebels next to me.
Yeah, it's not Australia versus the world. Is it Titans versus Rebels? Because that's either 4 or 3.
No, it's not Titans versus Rebels. It is shocking. Gabe thinks it's Heroes versus Villains. It's season 2.
Mm-hmm. More look
so low. Can you believe season 2 is this bloody low? But yeah, no. So next week, because obviously next Wednesday is Christmas Eve, we're going to be doing our live on Tuesday night instead with our besties in the UK. Make it to merge. Sophie, Christy, Will, so the ones who did the Shawnee podcast.
Right.
With us, Michelle.
I remember.
Yeah.
And Survivor.
Well, I think I should just leave quietly.
And yeah.
Because you've got to keep going.
Goodbye, Michelle. Yes, but I'll see you next Tuesday, Michelle.
Next week. I'll see you next week. Bye, GP.
See you next week, Michelle. Bye. Michelle. All right, now that the super boring person has gone, GP, we can finally have some fun on the podcast. We could.
You know what? I would start with her Amazing Race Twist. That's my co-author.
Yeah, exactly. We're just only talking Amazing Race now that Michelle is gone. She's not allowed to talk about Amazing Race. But yeah, but I guess too, something that's great about Daisy, right, is that I feel like she has so much luck in the game. She finds 2 idols, she misplays both of them, and at the final 8, the champions are starting to crack a bit, So obviously, like with Luke, he's getting super paranoid because he knows he's a huge threat for the end game, and Daisy just very carefully plants the seed that the champions are Loki starting to go after him, and then she plants a seed with the Janine and Pierre. They're like, hey, you guys got to start making huge moves. So then they're now actually starting to think about targeting Luke. Luke's now working with Harry and Baden, which he pretty much goes to the end with. But unfortunately, it's just little, what's that saying? Too little, too late. Yeah. I think if maybe she started this a bit earlier, I reckon they would have cracked on the final 8 vote.
Yeah, I don't know what to say else about Daisy. You said it all. That's not the story I was focused on yet. Thank you for what you brought to us. Yeah, she sits in confessionals and wants to give us some emotion, some energy, which some people don't care about. So good job on Daisy on that. But
Yeah.
her moves,
And
I need to rewatch.
yeah, and something really funny about Simon Black, right? Which unfortunately they don't show this, but so Luke and Harry, they both actually had their idol clues. They've both spoken about this on their deep dives, and what they did was that Luke had hidden his clue, which Simon had found, which is obviously to dig near the tree, and Harry had hidden his clue that the idol was in like the shelter or something like that, right? And so that's why all episode long you see Simon, he's just constantly digging and digging and digging because he found Luke's clue. Like, obviously there's no idol there, but he found Luke's clue, so he's just digging. It's like, why didn't we see any of this? This would have been great. Just like Luke and Harry, it's almost like with Rick Devens planting the fake idols, and everyone's been finding all the fake idols. It's like Luke and Harry are planting their clues everywhere, and Simon has found both of them, and he's just losing his mind and can't find them.
They were trying to cut the Luke Toki airtime, maybe.
Yeah.
Too much good stuff. Can we talk about Baden also?
We can talk about Baden. No, we haven't yet. No.
How do you feel about it?
I like him. I think it's great. I think, like the thing about Baden is I feel like he's surrounded by too many huge stars and characters. You've got Daisy, who's like the bogan. He's partnered up with like Luke quite a few times. He's with like Luke and David a couple of times. He's with Harry as well, who's just such a great fun presence. So I kind of feel like he was quiet in the edit because he was always partnered up with the the more louder people, if that makes sense. Very similar with Pia. She was quite quiet in the edit because she was always with Janine, Luke, and David. But then once they start getting out and out, we see a lot more of Pia.
Is there a combo of people that Baden can win again?
No, I think
it's a hard.
I think from the final, I think the only person Baden could have potentially beaten was Simon from the final 7 onwards. Because I think everyone else, I think they take the win from him. Even Abby, I think most likely wins over him.
Yeah, and I think he was just like Pia, but Pia was Pia plus. Like they're both nice and strategic, but Pia did everything better than he could. So a unanimous winner.
Well, I think. Yeah, so I think the one thing that Pia had over Baden was that it was actually Pia. I mean, I feel like her and Janine sort of like ran the move together, and Janine sort of allowed her to take the full credit. That's something with New Era as well, is that they never let people take credit for moves. And it was like, no, well, I did this, I did that. It's like, yeah, but making a move is like a joint effort. You get what I mean? Because I might have relations with these people, you have a strong relationship with those people. Well, hey, let's talk to them separately and bring the groups together to make a move happen, right? It's always like a joint effort. It's not just one person single-handedly doing everything, right? And so, so I love that Janine sort of just like let Pia take full credit for the David blind side, because that's something she had on her sleeve compared to Baden, who didn't really have a massive move up his sleeve.
Right. Easy to see his game, Baden, not so much. And then Harry, and the other finalist, was just too disliked, because I would hesitate.
No, he got voted out.
Oh wait, it was a final.
Yeah, it was a final 2.
Right.
Yeah, it was a final 2. Yeah, and exactly. He became a duo with Harry by necessity after Contenders fell apart and merged. Yeah, exactly. And wait, so is this Baden was the obvious pre-merge who miraculously survived because the tribe kept on winning. Only was in trouble in the one vote that the Contenders actually went to. Had a similar story to Baden, but didn't really have a diehard ally. Sorry, am I missing out on something? I might be missing out on something. Who are you talking about by he became a jury? No. Who had a similar story to Baden but didn't really have a diehard ally? I don't know. My brain is really fuzzled. It's actually like past midnight here at the moment, right? So my brain is, had a similar story to Pia. Oh, okay. I see that. Yeah, they were both like the weakest on the tribe, but they both like overcame the odds, came back, was part of the majority. Yeah, no, I see that very similar story. I 100% agree. But we also see that Luke finds the safety without power advantage as well. And from what I've heard, apparently he found this around the final 8, but in the episode he finds it at the final 6 or final 5. And Janine and Pia, they're working with Baden and Harry, that if Luke ever loses immunity, we have to take him out. And he wins immunity, and they take out the godmother, Janine. And, Janine was asked for All-Stars GP, but she turned it down. And, yeah, I think Australia vs. the World was probably the only season we're ever going to see Janine come back and play.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It wasn't her season either, though, sadly.
Yeah.
Unanimous loss, but oh well. Well done anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just making it to the end
Yes.
on a season like Australia vs. World is huge. You get what I mean? And it's not like she was like a goat all the way through. I think she was kind of a goat just based on who was left with her towards the end. But, it was Janine who orchestrated the blindside on Kirby.
But that's what happened
Obviously,
on
the start of the
World
season.
too. On both seasons, Janine doesn't see who could win against her then. If she plays a third time, she needs to bring horrible people to the end with her. Only way.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give her money.
Yeah. You're exactly right, Gabe. What's so crazy about Janine is that she loses more money playing Survivor than what she, if she even won $500,000, she probably would have been able to make more, just by staying at home doing nothing. So obviously shows she's just a massive fan of the game. Miracle she returns. I 100% agree. Janine and Sarah and Benji were kind of like the 3 one-time player legends who I've really want to see come back and play, and it's so great that we got to see Sarah and Janine come back to represent Australia. I think it was really cool, and also first ever godmother as well. GP, we love a boss lady, someone who really takes charge, like Kim Spradlin, obviously is a prime example as well. But Janine's the first ever player, I believe, to be called the godmother.
And no one has been called that ever again.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just Janine, yeah.
You watch how Janine expresses herself in those expressions she has, and it's out of this world charismatic, right? So it's all about the strategy. Janine, I have nothing against her personally. Strategy, she'll push other people. I said that earlier.
Yeah. And we also get a very crazy tribal here where Luke wins immunity at the final 5, and he's decided he's going to save Pia, right? But he doesn't actually play the safety without power on Pia. He plays on Baden, and he orchestrates a 2-1-1 vote where he gets Abby to vote for Harry and him and Pia vote for Abby, which gotta say, what a brilliant tribal.
To remove the equation of a vote instead of saving yourself at final 5 with money on the line.
It's because he had immunity, so he was safe.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm forgetting those endgame details more. But pretty badass. He could have used it the night before, No? He wasn't immune all the time?
Yeah, so he was immune from the final 7 onwards up until he gets voted out. So final 7, final 6, final 5, he was immune.
I'm dying to talk about his final 4 performance.
Yeah, well, we got to hold on, GP, right? Well, I mean, I guess we can kind of talk about it. Do we think if he keeps Abby in the game that he survives the final 4?
I have no idea. What do you think?
I think no. I think he gets absolutely cooked either way. I think it was a smart move taking out Abby, because with the people that was left, Abby was probably the number 2 challenge performer, to him, right? So in order for him to potentially win out, he needs to take out Abby, right? But I do think that he's just such a huge player and threat to take out that I think the second he loses immunity, actually, no, Gabe does bring up a good point here where he reckons Abby might actually consider keeping him because she is shown to play emotionally. Yeah, but I still think that, it's that whole thing, right? It was do you potentially sacrifice your chances of winning for for this guy, because he's like, Luke will 100% win this season if he makes it to the very end, right? And I think everyone knows that.
But does he?
And
We never know,
Yeah.
right? Against Pia?
I reckon he will. If Luke
You
makes
sure
it to the end with anyone on the season, he wins hands down, I reckon. Just
Don't
based
think there
on
would be a jealousy? Like, there's that champion, the fan favorite, and here's more attention. Like, no?
no, just because of his story. You know, with like his
Yeah.
kids, his daughter has cystic fibrosis, 2 sons with autism, you know what I mean? And so I think just his story alone, he's very much a family man. Like, never once does it get targeted early because he's a returning player. You go, I mean? Like, quite often we see, oh, this person's a returning player. We've got to, like, you know, watch out for them. Luke never has that problem.
It's true.
Never has that
It's
problem. So, yeah, I think Luke would win hands down against anyone if he makes it to the very end. But yeah, this was a crazy.
Here's a hot thing. Here's a hot thing. I mean, Pia has children too, you know. So in these games for money, that you have 6 children instead of children, you know, I don't want to attack Luke Tuki, but it's so an argument that it's outside the game still. Like, I would still look at their strategic games myself if I was a juror.
Yeah.
They all have kids. What do I do? I don't know. They don't matter.
But I think Luke's game as well also upholds above everyone else's games as well.
On top of that, yes.
Yeah. And I think it's not just his connections with everyone and stuff like that as well. Like,
I know.
like the whole jury was in tears when he gets voted out, right? And so, yeah, but no, great commentary as well. Pierre, Bade, and Harry were all Survive fans, while Abby was just a normal person. Yeah, it could have worked, yeah. But yeah, I do agree though, where it was such a crazy move for Luke to do a 2-1-1 at this tribal as well, you know, taking out Abby and stuff. Like, I feel like it was just a strong showman move to kind of be like, look, I may be the number 1 threat to go, but I'm still in control of what's happening. You know, it's not like a Mike Holloway where he's just winning immunities, but it's on the bottom. This was Luke being like, no, I have full control over what happens, you know. But
It's so true. It's so true. Like, he needed one more move, but that's a great move. And to even create a 2-1-1 at Final 5, I don't think that's ever been seen again. It's the right combination of events, but you even have to think of that.
Yeah, and obviously the Final 4, he loses immunity, and you know it was heartbreaking. You know, there aren't too many times where I get like very emotional when watching Survivor. I was bawling in tears, GP,
Right?
watching Luke get voted out.
I wasn't bawling. I was teared up. But
Yeah.
it felt. You know what got to me is obviously he loses the challenge, he's on the ground, but it's his confessional after. Like, our king of the jungle is finally sad for the first time in the whole season. His energy's gone, his eyes are dead, and he's like, "You just gotta keep going."
Yeah, well, like he can tell
That's
he's
traumatizing. Yeah,
like, I mean, I think even he knows he's done.
I know.
No
And we
one's
feel
gonna
it,
save
we
him,
know it.
and
we all know it. Yeah.
yeah, and like the whole like post challenge scramble is just like we all know what's gonna happen. It's like watching a slow motion car crash. We all know it's gonna end really badly, you know, but it's just yeah,
And the
like
hero music at Tribal.
oh, beautiful, emotional, and I even remember because Australian Survivor is pretty late in New Zealand. Well, it used to. Now I think it's just like a week or 2 weeks off. And I remember I used to work at a supermarket and I was serving like, you know, this family at a checkout and they were talking about Survivor. And I was like, oh, like I'm a Survivor fan too. Like, what episode did you guys just watch? And they said, Luke just got voted out. And yeah, like they had like, you know, watery eyes, you know, they were just like really upset by it as well. And yeah, I'll never forget that experience. That's how much of an impact Luke has, like internationally. Even New Zealanders were sad to see him get voted out as well. And so, yeah, and that's why he told Peter it's all right. Yeah, like great guy. You know, obviously we've got 2 more seasons to talk about how great Luke is, but yeah, no, I absolutely loved his game here, and I was really devastated to see him get voted out. Like, it's one thing to be voted out GP mid-merge or just before the merge or early merge because there's so many what ifs, right? But being taken out just before the variant must be really hard.
Yes, and Australian Survivor is no joke. It really is a journey. It's not 16 days or 26 for that matter. Those old school seasons, wow. High respect just to make it so long.
Yeah.
Luke is the face of Australian Survivor with David. Like the Mount Rushmore, right? Him and David do it.
Yeah. Him,
We did it
David,
once.
George, and
What did
Shawnee.
we do? Right, George and Shawnee. Right, okay.
Yeah, as well, yeah. And yeah, everyone else in the
Great.
Final Four made the correct choice here. I 100% agree. Something as well is that this is where I really noticed the fan backlash as well. A reason why Pia would never play Survivor again GP is because the entire casual, I wish Michelle was here, but the whole casual fan base hated Pia's guts.
What?
I don't know if death threats were made or anything. I assume probably was, yeah. But so many people hated Pia, same way as they hated Samantha for betraying Jesse. Right? It's just a game. You go in
What did they hate about Pia? What did they hate about Pia?
Because she turned her back on fan favorite Luke. And a lot of the arguments was, he just saved you and all that sort of stuff. And it's well, it's a game. No one's going to win if they keep Luke around, And yeah, I also felt really bad as well. This is where I was sort of I guess discovering the Survivor internet and stuff and seeing how Pia was treated online and stuff. It sucks. I would love to see Pia come back and play again, but
so weird.
You have to think of how Luke,
you have to think of how Luke feels, right? You probably sees these comments against Pia, but that supported him, and you kind of shut up. This is not what's really happening. Don't support me so hard.
Yeah. You can be sad about Luke getting voted out and not hate on Pia. You get what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's what Gabe says here. Pia made the right choice here. Even Luke agreed it was the right move. Pia wanted to win the game. If anyone wanted to win the game, they had to get rid of Luke. And same thing with Cirie. If you ever want to win a game of Survivor and Cirie's with you at the very end, you have to take out Cirie because she will just always win. Yeah. And obviously the final three, we get a very grueling challenge as well. The one where you got to hold your, I believe it's a percentage of their body weight while standing on spikes. And I was very fortunate enough. Hang on, I'll see if I can bring up the photos of it actually. I was very fortunate enough to do a challenge like this while I was in Melbourne.
Malviver.
Yeah, it was more. It was Malviver, yeah.
That's the first story I made about you, I think.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Do I have? Here we go. I've got some photos here. So Australian Survivor Memes and I, we got to do this challenge together. It was to win a Survivor buff. So you can kind of see here. So it's very flat platforms. I think we only had to lift up. I think they're 5 kgs each or 10 kgs each or something like that. Yeah, this is how much pain I was in. Obviously, I just love the lady in the background. Just been what the hell is this guy up to?
How authentic was it? The actual shape or sort of?
Yeah, it's weird because my strategy with that was I wanted to just lock in. You get what I mean? Just pull the ropes down over your chest because we only had to do it for 2 minutes, 2 to 5 minutes max, I think. In order to win the Survivor buff. So my whole plan was to just lock in, but just trying to move the weights out. It's awkward, and even though we're wearing shoes, my size 15, I've actually gone up a size now, GP. I'm actually size 16 US. Hear that, Gabe? I'm size US 16 shoes. I don't know if that's common in America or not, but I can't find any shoes in Auckland. I always have to ship them, either from Australia or from, just some other random shop online. I'm a big boy. And so, also we've got to wear shoes. It's like a flat platform, whereas in the actual show they're standing on spikes. And I found that hard. So I couldn't imagine. I believe they went 9 hours. You coward, don't wear shoes for the challenge.
What's cool?
Yeah, I found it hard, even bush shoes.
what's cool with the ending of that season is how all these huge people and crazy personalities have gone, and we're left with Tiny Tia, Baden, and not Tiny Harry, but you don't expect that
Yeah.
final three to compete in something like that. So it was interesting to see sort of regular quote unquote people compete on that, compared to
Yeah.
David, who would have won it no matter what. Yeah?
Yeah. I mean,
What a come from behind win from
what was I
Baden.
gonna
Man.
say? Yeah, it's such a huge come from behind win from Baden. Like, it's unexpected for him to win as well. I think everyone's in the camp of, oh, if like the Pia's gonna, like, she has to win this to stay. Harry's got to, he's probably going to win this, but no, it's actually Baden, and it kind of sucks. But he was kind of choosing who he was going to lose to, which is a really horrible way of saying it. But yeah, he really was deciding that, and yeah, he chooses to vote out, Dirty Harry here, and yeah, like, great run, I got to say, from Harry for being on the bottom for pretty much majority of the season. He did a really great job flipping the script, so then he ends up in the majority to the point where, yeah, he's like the voice of reason to, like take out Luke and stuff, and to take out Janine. So, yeah.
And a twist I like about the Australian Survivor is how they bring the family for the dramatic last challenge. The effect it must have on you to have someone cheer, and the emotion of even kids sometimes. Well, they take them away, I guess, like PS kids. But
Yeah.
That's a twist that actually changes the chemicals in your body as you're competing, right? It only increases the length of time and the more. Like, it's a twist that creates a good scene for sure.
It creates the drive in you.
Yeah, have they stopped doing it? Like,
no, they still do it. I don't think they do it for Australia versus the world, just because it's
Right.
like it's only 2 weeks. But as Gabe says here, loved ones are flying out to watch a modern US Survivor, never doing that. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Gabe, but didn't Jeff say in I don't know if it was his podcast, I forgot where I saw it, so in case of this is wrong, don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure Jeff said somewhere that letters from home hits more than a loved one visit. And I'm sorry, that's just a load of shit, It's just trying to
crying on camera.
Yeah, just in terms of like making like a emotional scene. It's like, no, like if I'm playing Survivor, even if it's been only 20 days, and like my sister comes out or like my best friend comes out, like I would just lose it, But if I'm reading a letter, it's like, yeah, it's pretty sad because I haven't heard from them in a while, but seeing...
And to you, man, it feels close. Fiji, New Zealand, in my head, are close. For my Canadian mom to come all the way to Fiji is quadruple drama.
Yeah.
I would cry just that she's here. Oh my God.
Yeah,
how did you do
exactly.
it?
Exactly, yeah. And so, yeah, like having loved ones actually physically there is always going to have more of a larger impact than just like reading from a piece of paper, right? But yeah, I guess
So
just
the winner reveal, they come back and the kids are there.
Yeah, exactly. But just before we do get to the winner reveal, Harry was a great player and character, starting a story at the swap, became one of Australian Survivor's most infamous villains. Well, how do you think he's going to do on Redemption?
Oh my God. How many fans do we have in that cast? Do they know the story of Ice Cream Harry, Cockroach Harry? And if I was playing on Redemption, I want to align with Harry because I know he's pretty loyal. No, wait. What is he again? How is he good for my game is a huge distraction, I guess. So I would align with him because he probably leaves before me. I don't think he will do well. Winner, no.
I think he's in the most trouble in terms of all the returning players because with Brooke, most people will remember her as the heroic underdog of All Stars, right? Even though she was a very strategic player. Everyone will remember Simon for he's vote out 2 idols, the cookie idol, Mark, I feel like people aren't going to remember how strategic he is and how socially great he is. He unified. I'm, rewatching random episodes of Titans versus Rebels at the moment because that's the only season I have yet to sort of rewatch. And yeah, like just watching Mark closely, it's like he is so great at unifying people and like groups and stuff like that, bringing different groups together and whatnot. And so yeah, I think people won't. It's a diplomat, yeah. And so I think people are going to heavily underestimate underestimate. Sorry, it's really early in the morning for me. Going to heavily underestimate Mark, but with Harry, it's just the name Dirty Harry. He lied about Oscar. You know, he's a villain. He finds idols. You know, he's a mastermind. I think that's going to haunt him for a bit. So I can see him going pre-merge, but I really hope he makes it. He makes it far.
He needs a really good lie this time, and keep it.
Yeah.
Why did he say
yeah,
he doesn't have a
typical.
child? That's where he
it's because he wanted to lure the votes onto him, and that one swapped tribal council. It's the episode where Sean went to the champions. So his plan was, if he gets the champions to vote for him, he plays the idol, and he sends Janine home. But obviously that doesn't happen, and so
should have kept it up.
Yeah. Anyway, so Pia, she wins the season. A very high tier winner. I think if I was to do like a winner rankings or something, she's near the top. Not at the top. I think players like David and Mark, maybe Ferris, Haley as well, are like above her. But I'd say around like the 5 to 6 mark. I'll put Pia.
She's the top woman in Australia to me, and top winner in Australia.
Really?
Female winner, and maybe my favorite winner. I'm trying to think right now. Like I love
like
Parvati,
over,
but
yeah, like the top winner in the Australian Survivor.
What is
it? like even like over David.
The unpredictability and how cool it is that her won gives me more of an emotional pull than David winning. Obviously, you know. The underdog story, like that's. I sound like Michelle, but yeah, you see yourself in that a little bit. Like I think I would play like Pia a little bit. I'm good with people socially, but I can turn it on 10% more to really like hook them in, you know. So to see that finally, like when we said JT win a Survivor Token Chains in the US, this is my comparison in my head to Pia. Weirdly enough, someone who. Is universally liked, socially aware. The difference is JT doesn't tell us he's fake, except in little key moments like at the reunion. Yeah, I cried for Steven, with Steven and Aaron a little bit. I was fake crying a little bit, but that's all he gives us. Pia from the start explains her strategy, so I think that's why I was so pulled in to root for her also when I watched it. And it makes me think of Lisa from New Zealand. Exact same winner to me in terms of how they were cast, like their archetype, I guess.
Yeah, for me, I feel like Pia and Christy are really come from behind wins. Where I know a lot of people online were saying, "Oh, so obviously Pia's going to win." I never saw that. I never saw that Pia was going to come in and win. Yeah, I agree. She's a top 5 winner, and I also do agree that she's better than Miles and Liz, who needed to physically win challenges. I think for Miles as well, like I like him a lot as a character, but I think his only way to win was the way he won. I don't think if he plays any other way or he's at the end with like a different group of people, I think Miles gets voted out. It was just the right circumstances for him to win, and so that's why he won. In my opinion, I love Miles. I think Miles is great, but yeah, Champions vs Contenders. Champions vs Contenders 2. I think the season's too low. I think it's a great season. I do think the only complaint is the editing of the Contenders, because we only see Sean, Daisy, Harry, and Andy pretty much. Everyone else is purpled, and like a wee bit of John as well. But I think the champions are great. Obviously, it's the birth of the Golden God, Janine Ellis, Pia Miranda, Luke's second season as well. Obviously, the birth of Dirty Harry as well. Like, there's a lot of really key, great characters that all originate from the season.
And what's the difference between the season title versus Titans versus Rebels? Like, is a Rebel a contender?
It's pretty similar stuff.
Right? Like, that's the same thing coming back a third time to me, right? Titans and the champions, come on. So,
yeah.
If we have like 30, 40 seasons of Australian Survivor one day, the casual fan will look at those and be a bit, that's repetitive. You need, this is where I guess US does it better, right? The team, right away what it is. You don't need to use imagination
Yeah, I think the champions and contenders, I think, is actually a very popular theme. Like, I know it's been
Yeah.
kind of overdone, but I think
The
it's just a
most.
great story
Right?
overall.
Strong
You've got
versus
all the
weak. David versus Goliath. All of it
yeah,
the same.
exactly. Exactly, Brian. Yeah, so Titans vs. Rebels, I feel like it's just a spin off of that, but that is one of the greatest seasons, out in the world, Titans vs. Rebels, right? People liked it more than Heroes vs. Villains, and that got the attention of the world. So,
The
yeah.
title is cooler. Titans versus Rebels is quite the nice marketing title as well. Like that, I would bring it back a second time since they always do.
Yeah. And we do get winner rankings here from Gabe. So 1 is
Oh,
David, 2 Haley, 3 Ferris, 4 Mark, 5 Pierre, 6 Jericho, 7 Miles, 8 Liz, 9 Shane, 10 Christy. Wow. Have you been chatting with Tom? Because your bottom 3 are all female, Gabe.
mhm.
You've been chatting to Tom too much. But I think that's a pretty fair assessment. I feel like my rankings would probably be somewhere around there. I do think Mark is a very dominating winner. However, I think obviously, like in terms of as a player, I feel like he's not as great as some of the other winners, but his winning game alone was very impressive. But rewatching Titans vs. Rebels, I'm realizing just how good Ferris's game actually was, and so I'll say that's a pretty fair ranking. Maybe no, I'm being super biased because I love the season. So no, Jericho's a good spot. I'll maybe put Christy above Shane. Maybe even above Liz as well, just because of I guess how she navigated the tribal councils in the game. Not saying that she's a way better player than Liz, because I think Liz does actively more than Christy. However, I do think Christy's strategy works more times than Liz's game works, if that makes sense. Because I think Liz had to heavily rely on Shawnee and George to kind of pull her through the game. So I'd probably put Shane at the bottom, then maybe Liz, then Christy, Miles, maybe. I don't know. How about you,
You could
GP?
rank them on how much you like them, how much you're attracted to them, even like this, you know what I mean, like strategy, confessional. It's hard for me to do that just on the spot. Right now, all those names are spinning because I keep liking things about the last one. It's about the editing a lot, I think. For example, winner Shane, they barely show her at first. Liz, you got to really pay attention. So I think this is where they cement less as I'm following the story. So then you don't remember the journey. Like, Ferris is easy to follow. Let's watch out for Ferris. This is why he's higher on Gabe's list, probably. Same with David, same with David.
And I pulled a Tom. You should be ashamed of yourself, Gabe, honestly, that you pulled a Tom. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the podcast. Any final thoughts, GP, on Champions vs. Contenders 2?
No, I was honored to talk about it. This is a golden season of Australian Survivor. Someone could watch it first, and they're a fan now. So if somehow you're here watching this and you haven't seen it, that should be on your watch it.
Yeah, and I 100% agree with Gabe here. This season really helped Australian Survivor ratings. I'm so happy we got this cast. It saves the season in the long run. Yeah, 100%. I think the Champions vs. Contenders, Titans vs. Rebels theme as a whole is a great theme. I think that you can just do so much with it storytelling wise, the underdog versus the top dog, and so, what's really funny is that in the 3 seasons, we've only had one, I guess, Rebel or Contender win. It's 2 champions to 1 pretty much. And so, I love this season. This season really propelled me into listening to the podcasts and stuff like that. And, I love the season. Great season of Relativity. It's probably the season I've listened to the most coverage on in general. And so I can't even remember how many times I've listened to Luke's deep dive of the season because I just loved everything he had to say on it. And the only downside is that it cemented this editing style though. Well, don't you worry, Gabe, because next week we'll chat about season 2. It's a lot more of a fairer, even edit with Make It to Merge. But GP, where can people find you?
People can find me stressed the hell out doing 2 challenges on my channel at the same time. That's up to Christmas and my twists for Survivor 49. All on Survivor Twiz. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram, the
And-
biggest following. Follow me there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I have linked your Instagram and your link tree in the description of the video as well. So make sure you do check out GP Instagram. Like we even just premiered my twist idea, right? Rock Island.
What did you think? I want to hear.
I
Did you have
haven't probably watched it. No, so I literally
watch it now?
finished work. I came home. I had to go to an event. It was to see the new Avatar movie. That's why I'm so late. Avatar: Fire and Ash. And so first IMAX screening in New Zealand. I was very fortunate to be one of the few to go. And then I came straight here and started the live. So sorry, there's been a really long one. An hour 40. Oh gosh, an hour 45. Sorry, that's what happens when you don't have any notes prepared. I've just been going off my own head. But yeah. Make sure you tune into Survivor Twist Instagram. His link tree is in the description down below. And make sure you subscribe for cheeky naughty times. I haven't really been up to anything too naughty because I did just get Linkin Park tickets again. My favorite band of all time. I saw them in Canada and they're coming to Australia. I've got tickets to see them in Australia. And after I got those tickets, they then announced that they're playing in New Zealand. So it's like, oh my gosh. I now have to get tickets for that too. So I'll pretty much be seeing them twice in 1 week. And so, yeah, super grateful, super happy. They're my favorite band of all time. How about you, GP? Have you done anything cheeky and or naughty?
I think for Christmas, I'm going to go to a big gay party.
Oh, okay.
In Germany, they do these the crazy wild parties. Don't imagine too much. It's still a dance party, but I mean, on Christmas Day, that's going to be funny in Germany. We'll see.
Nice.
I'll wear my black Christmas hat with my beard. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. And yeah, make sure you tune in next Tuesday instead of Wednesday for the Season 2 breakdown with Maggot to Merge podcast. I've been your host, Mucky Hope. Thank you so much for watching. Ka kite anō. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take it easy, guys. Ciao.